You gotta become war.
The 1980s was a golden age for the muscled action hero. Big men with big guns, taking out swathes of foreigners and suffering little more than a scratch in the process. Movies like Commando and the Rambo series epitomised America's Reagan era and its gung-ho attitude, making their stars household names around the world. So naturally, these movies and the culture that surrounded them would be a huge influence on games of the time. One title that took liberally from this culture was 1987's Operation Wolf from Taito. Utilising a cabinet-mounted light gun in the form of an Uzi, Operation Wolf was steeped in machismo and the concept of the one-man army. Sent in alone, the player was tasked with eliminating various enemy compounds and rescuing 5 hostages. Each of the game's 6 stages was set in a horizontally scrolling screen. These levels are a fairly standard set featuring an enemy camp, the jungle and an airstrip. The 5th level, however, would be set in a concentration camp, which conjures up certain images in your mind, though it looks more like a standard POW camp than its title would imply. It's something I think is probably a result of a fairly iffy translation from the original Japanese, which certainly fits with the rest of the game's script. Enemies in these levels would appear in numerous ways. Some would pop out from behind buildings or from windows, others would run onto the screen from the sides, while even more would appear in the foreground, right in the player's face. These enemies mostly took the form of standard soldiers, however some would occasionally be armed with grenades or rockets, which the player would have to shoot down before they hit them. Additionally, there would be several vehicles that could appear, usually helicopters or armoured personnel carriers. These could take substantially more damage, though the player could quickly take them out if they had any rockets. Civilian casualties were also a danger that players had to be aware of. Nurses and other non-combatants littered the levels, and in Stage 5 onwards, the hostages that you are there to save also appear. These hostages make up the main goal of the game, as you try and ensure all 5 make it to the end of the final stage, though it's very easy to accidentally shoot them. What makes Operation Wolf a slightly tenser affair than your standard light gun game is the limitations placed on the player. Ammo and rocket pickups are just rare enough that running out is a very real concern, and something that the player needs to take careful consideration of. Health as well is doled out sporadically, and it's very easy to quickly find yourself in a dangerous position, with the warning alarm blaring faster and faster as you get closer to death. Operation Wolf is very much a product of its time and culture. This was a game that permeated the late 80s, both in arcades and in homes, being ported to just about every computer and console at the time. Today, it's fairly standard stuff as far as a light gun game goes, but in 1987 it was still fresh and would go on to inspire a generation of similar titles such as Lethal Enforcers, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and others. Finding a working cabinet to play on isn't going to be the easiest thing to do, and while it's perfectly playable with a mouse, something I had to do to get the footage, it's no substitute for the real thing. As it is, Operation Wolf has lost little in terms of its playability. The graphics still look good, if a little rough around the edges, and the sound is impressive for an 80s title, with all the volume and noise you would expect of a game like this. All in, I still found myself enjoying Operation Wolf even after all these years. If you can play the original coin-op, then go for it, but even with a mouse, it's still worth a few minutes of your time. Thanks for watching this episode of Arcade Attacks. Remember to like and subscribe to see more of our videos, and to come and visit us at grcade.co.uk.